Hi, my name is Sharon Barassa, and we're going to talk about learning assessments of for as learning. Okay, so learning assessments of learning. This involves exams. This is a summative assessment, and the effectiveness of it depends on the feedback that's given. This provides evidence that the outcomes have been met and that the students have met the standards required. Now, I am an accounting instructor, and there are very specific outcomes that need to be met when a student is granted credit for the accounting course that they've taken. So having assessment of learning is a very important part of the assessment for the course. These are high stakes. So these are important. This is what makes up the grade for the student. Now, assessment for learning would be more in the aligned with knowledge checks. So this is formative, and the feedback is designed to help motivate the learner to improve where they're at. This involves peer and self-assessment. It is lower stake, and it is designed for feedback purposes. And it also informs the student where they're at, but it also informs the instructor as to where things are. So if the instructor perhaps might need to modify the lesson plan, if they're finding that a number of students are having some challenges that come forward from the results of the knowledge check. Now, assessment as learning, I have the example of an adaptive assignment. Now, I use adaptive assignments with my students. I like them because every student is different. They have their own challenges, different challenges, and the adaptive assignments will adapt to the individual student. So with the adaptive assignment, a student might be given a number of questions, say 10 questions. The student that knows the material well will answer those 10 questions. However, if a question is answered incorrectly, then there's the adaptation piece to it where it will lead them to a different question that will almost backtrack a little bit just to help them with that learning process. Now, I use the adaptive assignments with my accounting class. It's something that the textbook publisher offers to the student. So I create the assignment and based on the outcomes and the objectives that the students are to learn, and then the adaptation piece is ingrained within the software. Now, this is formative. There's feed-forward opportunity for the student. It's peer self and reflective. And these are low stakes. So the learners will assess their next steps in learning from the results of their adaptive assignments. Now, moving from of, for, as learning, it goes from summative to formative. It goes from high stakes to low stakes, and it goes from teacher responsible to learner responsible. And here below I've got my references. Now, what I've done here is I've created this infographic that is applicable specifically to my financial accounting course assessment. So here, what I've done is that instead of having it as assessment of for as learning, I have reversed it so that it's actually assessment that is as for of learning. So the assessment as learning, again, we have those adaptive assignments. And I wanted to start with the assessment as learning because the adaptive assignments is really the starting point for them, for the students to see where they need that extra time and attention to go to. So they have that ability to check where they're at and to kind of expand their learning from the results. It is low stake, and they from here they go to the knowledge checks. So the assessment for learning, we have the knowledge checks. So once they've done the adaptive assignment, they move to the knowledge check, which might be in the form of a quiz. They do that quiz, they see how they've done, if they have any shortcomings there that they need to spend more time and attention on. And again, this is for feedback, not for grades. And this leads them and prepares them for the assessment of learning, which is the exam, which is the high stake assessment. So it really leads up to that high stake assessment. Hopefully the idea is that by the time the student gets to the exam, they're already quite comfortable with reviewing and answering questions on the material that they are responsible for. And I'd like to think that starting with the adaptive assignments, moving to the knowledge checks, and then moving to the exams, you're creating more autodidact students, ones that the students, they'll learn how to learn and be more successful in the course. Okay, so thank you for watching.